Hello guys, as I make this video, it's 3 a.m. on the East Coast of the United States. I'm not on the East Coast. For me, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon in Vietnam. I'm going to talk a little bit about today. I get some questions about this in the past, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about it a little bit today. How do I stay consistent without burning out? Because people hear me say, oh man, I do something 7 days a week. I hit the gym 5 days a week. But you don't need to train 7 days a week, guys. You don't have to do that. You don't need to be perfect with your training. But if you're doing nothing for 5 days and then trying to make up for it on Saturday and Sunday, it's not going to work. You're going to burn out, or you're going to give up because you're trying to do too much stuff, trying to cram too much stuff in a short period of time into a weekend. And that's just as bad as doing nothing, or worse. But I'm going to give you a little 3-day rule that helps me stay consistent and avoid falling off the track. So what is a 3-day rule? By the way, Mike Norris Fit. If you like the video, give it a like. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it. And so let's talk about the 3-day rule. For me, it's more like a 5-day rule, but yeah, 3-day rule for the average person. You commit to doing something intentional for your health for at least 3 days a week. At least 3 days a week, you're going to try to improve your health. Set that in your mindset, I would say. Set that in. Now, for me, if I'm not doing something 5 days a week, I walk 7 days a week, so I exclude walking. But if I'm not doing something else at least 5 days a week, I'm probably a little disappointed. But for you, and you're just starting out, or your age or whatever, or you got a lot of stuff going on, 3 days a week. And it can be a lot of different things. It can be a strength workout, whether you're doing it with weights or body weight or bands or whatever. It could be a 30-minute walk a day, a 45-minute hour walk a day, hour and a half, whatever. It could be a high protein day, which every day, if you're over 50 years of age, should actually be a high protein day. But maybe you want a higher protein day, and you want to do that a couple of days a week. Get really high with your protein. That's good because, man, the science is just overwhelming of what high protein does for our bodies as we age. Maybe you want a mobility session or stretching session or there's so many different things you can do. If you're into yoga and stuff like that, Pilates. I just read an article this morning about men going soft because women are now obsessed with lifting weights and men are now obsessed with stuff like Pilates. I don't know about that, man, obsessed, but I know there are a lot of men in the Pilates classes, but why are they in the Pilates classes? And I do know that women are really, really into weightlifting now. Even here in Vietnam, the gyms are just full of women working out hard, lifting weights, and all ages. But like I said in the beginning, it's not about being perfect. It's about not letting the wheels come all the way off because you're sitting around doing nothing. So the reason this 3-day rule works is because all or nothing mindset leads to burnout and inconsistency. If you're less than 3 days a week, you're really not doing enough to help. Anything's better than nothing, but you're not going to see the improvement that you want to see if you're not hitting at least 3 days a week. And 3 days, I think, is realistic, even if you got traveling, grandkids around, injury, stress. And I'm going to talk a minute about bands, but man, if you're going traveling or anything, quick workout on the road, or even something your grandkids can do, because when you buy bands, they usually come in a bag with about 5 different sizes, and the little light one that you don't use, you could even let them play around doing what you do, mimicking you with the bands. There's just so many things you can do. So a real life example, how does it break down? 3 days a week, let's say, and there's so many different things, so many variations you can do. The main thing is just to work your body. Monday, you could do a strength workout. Strength workout, like I said, in the gym, at home, push-ups and pull-ups if nothing else. Maybe you got a bad shoulder like me, you can't do pull-ups, but you can hang from the bar. You can use bands, you can use dumbbells. There's so many different things that you can do. Then say Wednesday, maybe you say, well, I want to work my core. I want to work my core. That's fine. Combine that with like a 45-minute walk or something, at 30 minutes at least minimum, but if walk. But if you feel like one day you want to work core, that's fine. But you know, I think there's things that you can do that's more important than a core workout if you're a really big person. I would rather you see, and say you're going to do a 15-minute core workout and a 45-minute walk, just walk for an hour. That's what I would tell you to do if you're trying to get weight off. Then Friday, you could do you could do stretching, you could do a band workout, you know, whatever you want to do. There's just so many options. But to get the best results, for instance, resistance training, 2 days a week is normally what we do to maintain what we got. Now, if you haven't done anything in years, yes, you're going to see improvements 2 days a week. But 3 days a week, adding in that extra day is it's not going to overwhelm you, and it's going to give you, you're going to see some great gains if you do 3 days a week of weight training or resistance training, using your body weight or dumbbells or getting you some bands. And I have linked below to the bands that I use. They have bands with handles on them that you can do, and I have some of those, but you have to have something to anchor them to, and it can work with a door and different things, but I can do so many things with these bands. I use them today at the gym. I normally always stretch with bands before I work out. Well, today I did some working out, and then I did some actual shoulder exercises with the bands. And I'm going to make a video on shoulder exercises. I already thought about that. And you know, an option, say you got the 3 days a week, but you got a optional bonus day, hiking, biking, long walk, stretching, Pilates, yoga, whatever you want to do. Or if you only worked out 2 days resistance training, you can add an extra day. You know, streaks, you know, you don't have to have streaks. Don't think of it in terms of streaks, but you're getting into a rhythm at least 3 days a week. I say 3 days a week minimum. And a lot of it comes down to what you want to do, how much you want to improve yourself. 3 days a week, if you're new starting out, you can definitely improve yourself. If you're already in decent shape and you're not doing a whole lot, but you decide to go 3 days a week, you'll see a little improvement, but you're probably going to have to do a little bit more to see really great improvement. But guys, try to walk 7 days a week. Try to walk 7 days, even if one of the days on Sunday maybe is just getting a little movement around in your yard, around the block after you eat with your wife or something like that. Try to get a few steps 7 days a week. So how can you use it starting right now? Look at your calendar. Plug in 3 days. Plug in 3 days and what you're going to do. And if you don't know exactly what you want to do, it's probably a good idea to do something different. You know, do something different on those 3 days. Whatever that is that you want to try. You know, maybe you got a park that's got a bar, like here at the beach. They got stuff like that in parks here. One right across the street, and they got bars you could go hang on, and they've got these little wheels you can spin that give you some kind of exercise, but you can do push-ups on the sidewalk, or they got raised steps where people do push-ups and stuff. Just make you a little note, 3 days, things you're going to do. Keep it flexible. Keep it flexible till you really see what you want to do that works best for you, and you see improvement. Walking, body weight exercises, gym if that's what you want, bands. Use what you got. There's 100 different exercises you can do with just your body weight. 100 different exercises. And I'll put a link to the Younger Next Year, the workout plan book. I'll put a link to that down in the links below. It's got some things in there that I hadn't really thought of. It's got some pretty neat little exercises. And so what I do, when I write stuff in my calendar, I go back and check it. Make sure that I got it. You can do that, draw a line through it or whatever, just to build accountability, to get used to it. I've been doing it for so many years, guys. I really don't have to write it in a notebook, but I do for certain things. and I may leave going to the gym with the intention of doing something, and I get there, something doesn't feel quite right, and I work a totally different body part. I do something different. If you get off track, miss a week, you don't say, well, I'm going to do 6 days next week. That's probably going to be a bit much for you if you are new. If you're starting back over, hadn't worked out in many years, or beginner, 6 days will probably be a bit much. But just hit your 3. If you can hit the 3, you're going to build momentum, and that's the key, building momentum and getting that discipline. We want to get 1% better each day, 1% better each day. And so 3 days is a good start point. Now, if you're somebody already working out and doing things, you might want to try some different things. Like tomorrow, I'm not going to the gym tomorrow. I am taking a day off. I took last Thursday off. I'm going to taking a lot of video tomorrow. I'll probably get some steps in, take a lot of video. I've got 15,500 steps right now, and I'm getting ready to go to the beach, and it's 2:30 in the afternoon. I'm going about 3, and yes, it will be hot. But you know, I'm going to work on my little tan a little bit. I'll probably walk up and down the beach. I won't even sit still for about 45 minutes or so. Lotion up, lather up, and get out there in the sun a little bit. But 3 days is the minimum. It's your anchor. Think of that. 3 days is your anchor point. If you do more, that's great. That's great. But if you just hit 3 days a week, you'll see progress over time. And the good thing about 3 days a week is after a few weeks of doing it, a few months of doing it, if you want to move on up to 4 or 5 days a week, you can do that. You can add a day every now and then. So what do you think about it? Are you new? Are you willing to commit to doing 3 days a week if you're new? And of whatever it is that you do, it doesn't matter, but just put it in your calendar for this morning. I went to the beach at 10 till 5, 4:50 a.m. And I got back home about 10 after 6. Now, it's about a quarter of a mile, a little over a quarter mile to the beach, a quarter mile back. And I wasn't in no big hurry getting there or getting back, but it's a nice walk on the beach early in the morning with the other 40, 50,000 Vietnamese people that are out there at 5 in the morning. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. They get up early. They get up early in Vietnam, and they got the kids up. Little kids, high school kids, they're all up. They're all at the beach. So to recap, you know, 3 days a week, pick your 3 days and get after it. And I would love to hear comments on your results, or let me know what you're going to do. And subscribe to the channel. You know, I got tons of videos on nutrition, fitness, all different types of pretty much everything for a man over 50. I deal with a lot of this up here. So you guys have a great day. I'm going to get ready and head to the beach and do a little walking on the beach, try to get to 20,000 steps today, and I will talk to you later.